You know, there's something about judgment that just happens. It comes along in the blink of an eye, in the blink of a mind, in a moment's notice, without even realizing that it's happening. Judgment, it seems, is all around us. We do it. They do it. It shapes us. It gives shape to our world. Judgment does. The funny thing about Mark chapter 15 is that for the first time we begin to see a plot that gets advanced without Jesus, the judged, ever saying much, without ever doing much. So much in Mark's gospel to this point has been advanced through Jesus' own actions, through Jesus' own words. Mark's gospel moves fast, it moves rapid, it moves from one scene to the next, from one miracle to the next, from one calling out to the next. But not in chapter 15. Here we see a Jesus who is not really just a passive agent. We are never really passive agents in judgment either. We, like Jesus, participate in the narrative, in our sharing of stories, by everything that we do, by everything that we don't do. And maybe that's what the Markan community is holding up for us. That Jesus was to be remembered as one who was so in his skin, who so lived into the architecture of his life, that he doesn't resist the pending judgment. It's as if the Markan community wants us to think that Jesus is just going along with it. Like he just knew that somehow in the shape of his life, in the architecture or the ecology of the world that he lived in, that this is where the road was headed. But then, that wouldn't make what happened to Jesus judgment. It would just make it part of the story. It's like the judgments in our lives. They don't really define us. They don't really determine who it is that we are. They don't even really define who it is that we will be remembered as. Rather, they just provide the fodder, the compost, the substance of our responses to life. Mark 15 is epic for those who hold it as a central narrative and teaching about the Christian faith. But not because Jesus was a passive agent. Not because he was judged. Not even because he died. Mark 15 is epic for the Christian faith because it leaves us open. It leaves us waiting. It leaves us asking, who was Jesus really? And that is still something to be judged.